welcome Sister Rose as she comes.
Okay, if you have your Bibles, turn with me to Esther, the 4th chapter. Father, we're grateful this morning for your blessings. What a good God. How much you loved us more than we can ever be able to say thank you. What kind of love is this that the Father has bestowed upon us? In spite of who we are, in spite of where we've been, thank you for loving us and for caring enough to reach out to us. And we thank you for it today. And we ask you this morning as we come into your presence that we might acknowledge who you are and the power that you possess. And we'll give you glory and we'll give you honor. In Jesus' name we pray, amen and amen. The 3rd chapter of Esther. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and a bitter cry. and came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decrees came, there was great mourning among the Jews, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing. And many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. I want to preach to you a little while. I'm going to have to tell you the rest. The story is a bit long. Mordecai was a Jew. We hear a lot of abuse going on among our Jewish brothers and sisters, but all nationalities in this country. It's a tragedy. But Mordecai learned that they had put a decree out to kill all the Jews. I'm still trying to understand, why can't you enjoy the world with all of its everything that's here, everybody that is working together, doing their best to work together? Why don't like people just because they're not like us? I'm glad the world don't look like just one person in this audience. You know how boring that is? Variety is good for all of us. And so he said he heard that they were going to kill the Jews. His niece was the queen. Mordecai knew he could never get to the king, but he knew he had a niece in the palace who could get to him. Except in that day, even the queen could not go in automatically and say, I want to come in and see you, honey. Those days didn't happen. If the king didn't send for you, you do not go. And if you tried going and he didn't ask you to come, it could cost you your life. I mean, that's a tough one to handle right there. So Mordecai now is in sackcloth and ashes. That's something that they clothe themselves in as a sign of mourning, a sign of sadness. And there he was, fasting. People don't like that word. They don't like it in our church, but we do it anyway. And so he said he was weeping and crying, and Esther's maid said to her, you know, what's going on? She was curious about it. And when she found out why he was out there, she said, take him some clothes, because nobody comes to the king's gate in sackcloth and ashes. You can't do that. There's a way you present yourself to the king. But you know what I thought about? I don't care what's going on with us, how we look, we can present ourselves to the king. It's okay. But as I looked at that, I thought, and you know what? When I began to study that, I thought, well, what was the law? That you can't come into the king's gate with sackcloth and ashes. You can't come weeping and fasting. And the law was, you can't do anything that's going to make the king sad. Well, get sad with me, if you will. But you can't bring bad news or trouble into the court of the king. And Mordecai knew this, but he didn't care. This morning I'm preaching about the fact, why do we not get things done? Because we're worried about the consequences. We're worried about how it's going to turn out. Suppose it costs me my life. Suppose this, suppose that. We never go to the positive end of it. We always go to the other end and say, well, suppose something happens. Suppose it doesn't. But if it does, I'm willing to do what I got to do. So when she sent the clothes out for him to change, I'm not changing in the clothes. I am in mourning. I am grieving for my people. My people are dying. They are talking about destroying all of us. Somebody's got to do something. How many people in this country could do something to make the difference but don't do it? How many people on your job could do something to make the difference but don't do it? How many times I read in the Huffington Post this week, and the police chief, I think he was in New York, or one of them there, but in the Huffington Post, he gave all of his officers instruction, when you go out, any black people that's homeless, shoot them. I thought, are you kidding me? If their homeless is not bad enough, kill them. I said a few of the officers kind of laughed about it, but most of them were very stunned by that remark. And they took it to a reporter and said he told us to kill the homeless black people. You know what? You better have God in your life, because God is the answer to everything, no matter what. So now, Esther's trying to say, you need to get away, Mordecai. You know better than that. You shouldn't be here, especially looking like that. You can't come to the king's gate. You know that before you got here. Yeah, I knew it. How many times do you defy whatever the rule is if it means I can save somebody's life? Whatever it takes that I might reach out and help somebody to become a better person, that's all that really matters. Quit thinking about all the things that could happen or might happen, and I might end up in jail, I might be here, I might be there. If you're giving your life for something good, do not worry about the consequences. Because there are consequences in life, good and bad. But if something looks like it's going to be rough, it may not turn out just right. Don't let that be a stopper for you. But make up in your mind, look, I'm going forward. He says, anybody going with me? I don't care if anybody's going, I'm going. You got to be strong and courageous in this hour. You got to not fear and be afraid of what could happen or what might happen. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to give it everything I've got. It's important that you do that. Listen. Then Esther called one of her chamberlains in, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and what was it. What's going on? So Hatshepsut went forth to Mordecai into the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasury for the Jews to destroy them. He paid money to kill them. You know, I'm telling you, you can't even sometimes comprehend that kind of hatred. But I'm going to give this money into the king's treasury if you'll just kill all the Jews. And he gave him a copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king to make supplication unto him, and to make requests before him for my people. Tell her she needs to go in. How many times have somebody asked you, could you just put in a word for me? Well, I don't do that. You're sorry, no good, nothing. Why can't you? Why can't you reach out? If the person is needing a job and you have a little influence, a good position on the job, and for the most part, the boss likes you, why can't you speak a word? Maybe I can help you. You know what happens? This scripture came to me the other morning when I woke up. He that showeth mercy shall obtain mercy. If I feel for you, then God's going to feel for me. I need it to happen for me. Again, Esther spake unto Hatshepsut and said unto him, and gave him commandment unto Mordecai, all the king's servants and the people of the king's princes do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come into the king, into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come unto the king these 30 days. Said, and they told it to Mordecai. Mordecai says, you go tell Esther this. Think not with yourself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Jews. For if thou altogether holdest thy peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Jews from another place, but thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether or not you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Who knoweth if God didn't set this in place for you to be able to stand in our defense? How do you know you wasn't sent to that job to help somebody else there? How did you know that you didn't go into the military because for some reason you were there but you didn't quite understand it? We're in places in our lives not by our own choosing always, but because it's a part of the divine plan of God. So why am I where I'm at? What is this going on? Why don't I think that if I'm blessed today, is the blessing for me or is it for somebody else? It's got to be somewhere else. It can't just be about you. I'm reminded of a time when I was in Oklahoma, and I had bought all my kids' school clothes. They were ready for school. And I went to this little store called Levine's. Probably not even there so many years ago. And I went in there, and it was saying if you by a certain amount, they open up your account or whatever it is. So I got it, but I didn't need it. I just got it. Well, when I came out, because I had everything, I didn't buy anything. But when I came out, it came to me very strong. I had a friend that was in Georgia. Call her and ask her if her kids are ready for school. Because her husband wasn't no good. He was past sorry. You usually don't have names for those kind of people. And so I called her, and I said, you have all the clothes ready for the kids? And she said, no, I don't have the money to buy them. That's when it hit me, that every door that's open is not necessarily for you. Every time there's a blessing that comes into your life, it's not just for you. But it's for you to help somebody else, for God's sake. Quit going home thinking, well, I don't need it. I just put this in the bank. Suppose somebody else needs something. Do you ever think about that person over there, this person over there? When I came up as a girl, our neighbors, we all cared about each other. If they cooked a big pot of spaghetti, they sent some over for us. If we cooked a big pot of beans, we share with them. Oh, people don't believe in that no more. I just thought it was a bit much when we started sharing our toilet brush. I thought that was a bit much. So are you kidding me? Mama said, can she use your toilet brush? That started getting to me. I thought, there, come on. Or if they wanted to bake a cake, it was common for our neighbors to want to bake a cake and only had the flour. So when they came to the door, I said, Mama said, you have a couple of eggs, a stick of butter, a cup of sugar, some vanilla flavor. I'm thinking, do you want a cake? They don't have anything to make it. You could go next door and actually shop. People cared about each other. We live in a very cold world that could care less about how people feel. Whether somebody else is in pain or not, they could care less. I think about it every time I lay in my bed at night about those people that don't have one. Every time I eat, God, I think about those people who don't have something to eat. Yes. But now, Mordecai done got really uptight here. He said, I just want you to know you going to die too. Don't you think you're going to get away? Because you a Jew too. I don't care if you did become a queen. They going to find out what you all about. Going to cut your head off too. Listen what she said. So he said, but if you don't do it, and that's one thing I think everybody needs to understand. If somebody you were expecting to work things out for you in your life, if they don't do it, don't worry about it. It'll come somewhere else. God's always got a plan. And let me tell you, if one person don't want to be a part of it, he's got somebody who does. So now, then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan and fast ye for me. Go without some food, she says. And neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. Likewise, so will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the law. But if I perish, let me perish. Fast and pray for me. My maids, I'm going to have them fasting and praying. And if I go in and it still don't get what I need to get, if I perish, then I perish. If I die, let me die. You know why the terrorists have such power? It's because they don't mind dying for their cause. You know when you get on that plane with a bomb, that when the whole thing goes up, you going up too. You know the things that you're doing and flying jets into the World Trade Center. You couldn't fly it in there without knowing it was going to be your life too. When people don't care about their life, nothing stops them. I think we need more good people doing good things that don't care about their lives so we can get things done. Yes. And if I perish, I perish. If they say I'm no good because I helped this person over here, or because I befriended somebody that they didn't think I should have befriended, or this was somebody that would come from a different background from me, or whatever the case may be, hey, don't care about that. Well, I don't want anybody to think this. Let people think what they want. You know what? I don't care what you do. Somebody's going to have a negative thought about what you do. If it's good or bad, they're going to think something negative of you. So what do? You forget the negative thoughts and the things coming from people and just go forward and say, you know what? I don't care what they think. I'm going to reach out and help somebody. I'm going to do it in spite of. I don't care what it says. When they tried to pass a law here in Colorado Springs not long ago about quit feeding the homeless, they just out there getting your money. Well, it ain't your money. And so, since when do you tell me who I can give money to? Since when did you tell me I can't stop and say to a homeless person, God cares about you and I do too? What's wrong with that? What's wrong if I give them a few dollars? What's wrong if I buy them a sandwich? What's wrong with that? God help us as a nation, as a people. May we look up and say to ourselves, God, what am I doing? How many opportunities have passed you by in your life simply from the fact you didn't know what the consequences were going to be? You know what? Well, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Who says we have to? So I don't do it. I just kind of back up, you know. I heard about so-and-so try to do something similar, you know, and they're dead now. And you know what? If I had to give my life for a good cause, for the helping of other people, it would be worth it. It would be worth it. But it's only the people that love people. You don't stop to think for a moment whether or not I'm going to be liked or talked about, ridiculed, people saying all kind of manner of evil things against you, putting you down. You know what I'm convinced of? Nobody can put you down if you don't put you down. You got to put yourself down. Because what you think does not have power over me. What I think about me has power. What I think about whether or not I do so, how I'm going to turn out is about me, not what you think. I think how many people have been hurt in their lives and didn't go forward and didn't succeed at things that they could have succeeded at because somebody told them, you can't do it. I was listening to Kamala Harris during the town hall meeting on CNN, and I like her strength and her courage. I love hearing her. Positive, strong, confident. And she said, so they asked her, so what are people going to say about a first woman black president? She said, let me tell you something. From the time I became Attorney General of California, they told me, people, you won't get that. You got to remember you're black. No, forget that you're black and go forward. Don't even let that be a reason. And she talked about all things. She had the first of this, the first of that. One thing she said her mother said, and I quote, she said, my mother said it's all right to be the first, just don't be the last. That's so true. That's so true. Don't be the last. When Obama, according to how he ordered himself in that office, determined whether there will ever be another black person elected to that office. And I think that had something to do with a lot of stress and pressure that he was up under, sometimes not making always the decision that I thought he could have made, but I ain't president, so who knows. And so, but I think I'm trying to be sure that I don't close the door, that I don't make it the last, but rather somebody else may have an opportunity or a chance. I say all the time, God, I want to be the preacher that is true, that is honest, that's a person of integrity, a person that's known to love people and care about people. If you want a reputation, for God's sake, have a good one. Don't just walk around thinking, well, I'm not worried about what anybody says. I'm going to do what I want to do. You should think about what you're doing. Because you're building your own reputation. Nobody can build that but you. Other people can try to tear it down, but if it's solid and you built it, they can't do it. But let's make a point that I got to quit thinking about what might happen yesterday. You know how many people could have enjoyed today, but they had enough money in the bank in case? In case. I believe you ought to have some in case. Of course, God's my greatest in case. You know, but I understand. But how much have you penny pinched your whole life and died? And Solomon said, you don't know if a wise man or a fool going to come and get it. And you could have had that shoe. You could have had that car. Well, we can't. You understand? We got, you know, it works out that we might be getting laid off. People that live like that are very unhappy people because they always worry about what might happen tomorrow, what might happen next week. We don't know. So I'm just going to be happy today. I'm going to enjoy my life today because tomorrow's not promised to me. I may not even wake up another day. But if I don't, let me tell you something. One thing they can say about me, she knew how to live. She knew how to live. Enjoy today. Have fun today. Have a good life. Have a good relationship with God today. So I'm not worried about all this other stuff that could happen or whatever. I want to enjoy my life. I must. I lost my daughter. Soon will be 3 months now. At 56 years old. The greatest girl any mother would be proud to have. We lived our life to the fullest. One used to say, when we'd be talking about diet food or stuff, she said, Mama, you know what, some things they just can't fix in a diet. You say, okay, you go taste this because it ain't got no sugar, it ain't got no fat, it ain't got none of that. She said, Mama, some things they just can't fix. And it's best you go on and have the real thing one time and move on. Move on. Instead of doing that. Because they can't change everything that tastes good. They got to, sometimes they take out too much stuff. I'm bringing a Bianca and Damien a thing of cheesecakes. And the reason why I'm bringing them to you, that they come from Junior's out of New York. And they're sugar-free. Who had it? Who had that? Yes, you had it, huh? Good, good. And I thought I got to bring that tonight because Damien is a diabetic. You're fighting your weight and doing a good job, may I say. And I thought, God, I got to take her because I ordered three sets of it, and some is lemon, and some is plain, and then some is chocolate mousse. The only thing I'm saying to you, don't eat but one. You know what? Everybody thinks if it tastes good, let me have 2 or 3. No, that's where the problem is. Have one. Now, they're about this big, but take your time and just enjoy and savor every moment. But it's good. It don't leave an aftertaste. It's good. You're going to have it tonight. I thought about you this morning because mine just came in this week. And I thought, you know what? If you just take a moment while you're enjoying what you're doing, who else could enjoy this? And I thought about Damien. I think we got to give him some things and help him out because Damien, that diabetic thing is a big thing with him, and he's skinny as a rail. But every once in a while, you sneak in the bathroom and just eat, leave the candy wraps in the thing. I said, they're gonna pick you up somewhere if you don't stop doing that. Where is Damien? Where is he? Yes, he's bending over. He said, I just got to have something. I got to have something. No, we're going to help you. We're going to help you. But do you know what? If you live your life saying, you know what? This is so good. That's why we want to tell people about God. This is a good thing. Well, maybe they're going to think you're a fanatic. Don't care. I'm not a fanatic. You don't think you're a fanatic when you're watching the ball game and all that stuff. Our city the streets will be empty tonight. When we get ready to come back to church, it's a ghost town. Where is everybody? Super Bowl. I thought if you got to have that much security at a Super Bowl, that's a dangerous place to be. 50 different security companies is there, including Homeland Security and all. I'm thinking, what in the world? But you know what? Well, honey, we'll be protected. Ain't nobody can protect you like God. Nobody. You must be ready. If you can't do it, maybe somebody else you know can do it. Sometimes we don't have the power to do it, but we know somebody that's a friend of mine who can talk and put the word in for you. Get that happening. Start it to rolling. This is what I'm going to do. Let me talk to John. Let me talk to my friend. I'm not there. I can't do it, but he has a real good influence with this person or that person. He can help you. Use it for good. Don't try to influence people for the wrong reason. So sometimes you need an intercessor, somebody who will intercede for you. And that's who Jesus is all about. He's the intercessor for all of us. The Father is perfect and holy and righteous and all these things, but he came down here and tasted of everything for us so that he can say, Daddy, give him another chance. Why? Because I've been there already. I know what it feels like. Okay, quit forgetting what it feels like to be in pain. Quit forgetting what it feels like to be hungry. or to be sad or to suffer loss in your life. If you remember that, then you'll be reaching out to somebody and say, I don't feel like I got my own problems. What is it? No, don't even tell me no more, because it may require me to do something. I don't want to do it. See? We must be ready to go up against the enemy and refuse to accept any compromise. I'm not going to compromise. I'm going to do what I need to do. Don't let nobody get in your way if you're going after something and it's worth something. Fight, go through it. Yeah, if it's good, you're going to fight. If it's something of value, it's going to take a lot out of you to get it done. But can you get it done? And that value don't just have to be coming to you, but the value could be for somebody else. I'm going after. You say, well, that's a dangerous thing. I know, but I'm going to help this person. Whatever it takes, I'm going to help them. You'll never regret it. Don't let nobody get in your way. It's always be saying, if I were you, I wouldn't do it. Well, my auntie did that, my uncle did that, and this one did that. If I were you, I wouldn't do it. Forget you. You ain't me. See? You have to get what you want, and the only way you're going to get it, you got to go after it. With everything within your being, I'll let nothing stop me. I'm going to make it here. When I was first called to the ministry back in the day, which was 50 years ago, I said, God ain't called no woman to preach. Well, y'all ain't doing a very good job. He needs somebody to step up to the plate. You got more crooked men preachers than my God from heaven. And you tell me God ain't called me? You go take a seat. And you don't say who called me or who didn't. I think if you sit here this morning and you listen to Sister Rose, you better rest assured God called this woman to preach this gospel. Yes. That's important. Don't be stopped by situations or things or what people think. I don't care what you think. It may put you in harm's way to do it. You say, that's really dangerous. Yeah, but if I can go through it and come out and somebody else's life is enhanced and better because of it, is it not worth that? I think so. You may be put in all type of situations that automatically mean it could cost you your life. Do I just stop? No. If our military would go to Afghanistan or Iraq or wherever the war zone is, and they were scared of being put in harm's way, we wouldn't win no wars. Because they'd be hiding somewhere in a hole, covered up in some foxhole. You say, where is he at? You remember that situation happened not long ago? A shooting took place, I think it was in Florida, and the security people went and hid out. What good are you? Take them off the force. Instead of going in there, no, like I'm not getting ready to die. And hid out somewhere where people were being shot to death. And you were there supposed to defend these people. The last thing you want on your side is a coward. A coward would help nobody. Okay? But if I have to be in harm's way, that's what Esther was. She had to get in harm's way. We sing the song, If I Perish, sing that after this message. If I perish, let me perish. I'm going to see the King. I'm going to Jesus. If my family don't approve or nobody likes it, whatever, I'm going to Jesus. I'm going to give my life to him. I'm going to turn things around. I'm not going to remain the person that I am. I want to be a new person. Quit worrying about what somebody's going to think. If I do it for me. And if you do it for you, you're going to be able to help somebody else to do it for them. Yes. If you already know that you shouldn't do this, that this is dangerous, don't let it stop you. It didn't stop Mordecai. It didn't stop him. He sat there in the gate. You know, people had to pass by and say, what's wrong with that fool? You see him out in front of the king's gate? He never has to be out there like that. There's going to always be those kind of people. Don't care what you think. You said, do you care about anything? Yeah, but not what you think. You're a waste of time. When I need your opinion or your validation to be able to conquer what I need to conquer, I'm in trouble. Because you know, man will validate you today, and tomorrow he'll talk about you like a dog. He said he had your back. When you look back there, there wasn't nobody back there. So why am I concerned about what you think? I think we're controlled too much by people's opinions and what people think and what they feel. Hey, I got something to accomplish here, and I'm going to get it done. At whatever cost it is. I went through a lot being a pastor, a preacher, talked about, lied on, told all kind of stuff. Oh, you name it. You name it. But you know what? I refuse to be stopped. I got to do what I got to do. You got to not worry about the pain. If women worried about the pain of a baby, you'll never have one. You'd never have one. I heard so much scary things when I first got pregnant. Oh, the pain. They did not lie. They told the truth. They had me scared to death. The first time the pain started, and I had 72 hours of hard labor. Everyone was saying, ooh, that's a long time. I could think they were right. I remember looking at the doctor saying, sir, I'm going to die. He said, no, you're not going to die, mother. Yes, I am. I can't take this pain. This pain is too much. And it took it 6 more times. What are you talking about? And my daughter said, Mom, if it hurt that bad, why did you have 6 more? I said, that's another story. Let's don't even go out there, okay? Let's just stay over here. Yes. But you'll be surprised how people can instill fear in you, that you cannot move forward, that you cannot be a person of courage and strength, because somebody's always telling you about who tried it and died, and they didn't make it. And I know my uncle, he was strong. My aunt was strong. I was strong. You know what? They died. You know what you do? Click people off. Click. They don't know you clicked them off. Click. And you just look at them, and they still talking like. You hear what I'm saying? Not really. I tuned you out a long time ago. Negative things will never help you to stand in a place where you got to do something good, and it may be dangerous. It could cost you your life, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Don't be stopped. Keep going. When it was told to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that the king says you got to bow at the sound of the music. What sound of the music are you listening to that's got you bowing to what's wrong? When you hear the sound of the music, if you don't bow, the king's going to kill you. He's going to put you in a fiery furnace. He's going to heat it 7 times hotter than it was. And you don't stand a chance. They stood a chance. Because you know what? They were courageous. And they looked at the king and said, you know what, king? No matter what you say, rest assured of this one thing. We don't even really care to even answer you. That's how stupid you are. But the God we serve can deliver us. But if he don't, we're still not going to do it. We're still not going to bow. So we don't care what you think. The king was so furious because the first time it didn't bow, they reported him. And the second time, the king said, I'll give you another chance. You better do it. If people give you a second, third chance, say, I'm not doing it. It's against everything I believe. It's against, if you have any principle, if you have any integrity, why can't you say, no, I can't do that? What about if we give you $5,000? Can't do it. What about $1 million? Can't do it. Integrity cannot be bought. People of courage and strength, you can't buy them. They either believe in what they're doing and they're going to do it, or they don't believe in it. Think about it. But you know what? He went on and did it. Then he got so mad, he said, heat the furnace 7 times hotter than it should be. That's how bad I want them to burn. The devil looked at you and said, that's what I want for them. I want to burn them. Don't be shaken. Don't look the other way. Hey, stay here. You know what? They went in, they said, bind them in their coats and everything. We want them to burn for a bit. Put their clothes on them, put coats and hats on them, and stick them in the furnace. They said, we still ain't going to bow. Walked in that furnace, fell down their knees, and who appeared but Jesus? You couldn't have a better person to appear. The king comes down and looks to see if they're all cooked up by now. He looks in the furnace and he says, didn't we put 3 men in that furnace? Yes. I see a 4th man in there. The 4th man in your life is going to make the difference. And I ain't talking about these homongers running around the street. No, that's not that 4th man. That's not going to help you none. See, check this out. He said, I see the fourth man. Who did he look like? Not like John. Not like my boyfriend, James. James going to fry with you. He looked at that and said, and the fourth one looks just like the Son of God. He never seen him before. How did you know that was him? He said, looks like him. The power he possessed. Take a look here. This is unusual. And the men that set it up for him to be thrown in the fireplace caused the decree to be passed. He said, now put them in there. Fry them. Don't worry about your enemy. Don't worry about how many bad things they said to try to destroy your character or your reputation. Truth wins out, no matter how you look at it. So a lot of people, if you're doing something good, expect bad to come. It just sort of goes with the territory. That everybody's not going to talk well of you. Everybody's not going to, the scripture says, if woe be unto the man that all men speak well of, that means you ain't doing nothing worth nothing. Because if you're really fighting and doing something worth something, rest assured, somebody's going to say negative things about you. They start talking about me since the time I come to this town in 81. The preachers ganged together in this, so-called preachers, and had me for lunch. And ran me down and talked about me like a dog. And what our goal is to run her out of town. You ain't running me nowhere. You didn't run me in. You don't run me out. They had lunch at a place called Bonanza at one time up on Austin Bluffs. And the preachers, the so-called preachers, would meet there one first Monday out of every month. And one of our members worked there. And one of the waitresses always chosen to serve the preachers on that particular day. So she was in there, they talking about me like a dog. They done dissected me up like a chicken. Talking all kind of stuff. They don't even know. They don't know me, never met me, never talked to me, nothing. But running me down. And my church member went over and said, I've been hearing y'all run my pastor down for the longest in here. She said, let me tell you something. I'm getting a bit tired of you dissecting my pastor like she's a chicken and talking about body parts and all this stuff. I'm tired of it. And I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't say that about my pastor. Some of y'all may know the dead prophet that's dead now. She said, you Sister Rose is spokesperson. She said, let me tell you something. Sister Rose don't need one. She speaks very well for herself. But I'm still here. I'm still here. You're gone. And you sure didn't go to heaven. Not if you didn't do it according to this book, and you sure didn't. He said, you don't pass judgment. I don't. The book judges you. It judges you. What are you facing in your life that you know you possibly should have done something, but you didn't? You held back because I was scared of the consequences of it. And I didn't know how people would treat me after I did it, or if they saw me friends with this person, or they saw me here, saw me there. How many times have you been held back from doing something good that would have benefited somebody's life only if you had gone forward in spite of all the things? Don't worry about it. I didn't know. You run with white people? I run with people. There ain't no such thing as white and black unless you define it that way. People are people. Make up in your mind that even after Daniel was told that the thing had been written on him, they hated him. Sometimes when you get exalted and God blesses you, and Daniel was chosen as one of the main presidents in the kingdom, and boy, he had all kind of power. Folks always hate you for that. Say, let's get the king to write a decree. You wrote it with him. You can't pray to nobody else in 30 days except it be us, except it be the false God. And Daniel, after he knew the writing was signed, he went to his house and looked toward Jerusalem and still prayed. What are you not doing because somebody told you? Well, you'll never make it. Well, you shouldn't be just reaching out to people on a constant. I mean, just forget it. You know, do something. So. Just do it like this. Click. Click. You know what? You'll be doing that all day. Click. Because people are negative by nature. They're negative. You're sitting here this morning. You say, Sister Rose, I've compromised so much in my lifetime, I'm not the same person. Where am I? Who am I? Because everything I believed in, I've compromised it. If you compromise it, you lose all your value. You can't be yourself. You can't do the good that you need to do. Don't compromise for anybody. Say, I'm going forward, I'm going to do it. And say, well, you're going to end up with nothing. And the same God that gave me what he gave me before will give it to me again. Our musicians and singers, look at yourself this morning and say, you know what? I need to get out of this rut I'm in. I have many goals set in my life, many things I want to do for people, many things I want to accomplish, but I didn't get it done because somebody told me I couldn't do it. Somebody told me it's not going to work. I don't believe it. I don't believe you. You know why the bee is flying around everywhere? He's not supposed to be able to fly. Nature says his body's too heavy. He don't know it's too heavy, so he keeps flying. So you got to look at yourself and say, I don't care what they think. I can get this done. Well, you won't work. It won't work. Show them that it can. Do it anyway. I don't need it this morning. Do it anyway. You can do it if you want to. He loves you. He cares about you. If you would stand to your feet, please. If you like prayer this morning, perhaps you are at a crossroads in your life, something you should have done that you never got done. Something you could have done last year that you didn't do. And years have gone by in your life, and you haven't been able to accomplish what you need to accomplish because too many people are telling you that you couldn't do it. You'll regret that one. Click. Turn them off. I'm going forward. We let too many things say to us whether or not we can accomplish things basically based upon our ethnicity. That, okay, I can't do it because that. Well, they're never going to do that to a black man. I remember thinking when Obama ran for president and I saw him in Iowa, I thought, go on home, Obama. That was my first thought. I thought, they're not going to elect you. And when Iowa got it, I thought, wait a minute. If it starts there, if you can make it an hour, black, white, red, or yellow, and when Kamala Harris was there, some of the people stood up and said, we're not caring about any of our issues, just be sure Trump don't win. That's bad, but that's good. That's good. I just want something good. So this morning, do not tell yourself you can't go here and can't do that. Life is big. God is big. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do with your life? Get away from people going nowhere. And all they tell you is that you can't do it. Get away from them. They're a problem. A real problem. You don't have to have that. You can go, where's my boy? Is Marcel here? Yeah, I got to see Marcel. Okay, Marcel, I want to see you up here, okay? Yeah. Understand. You can make it. No matter what you're going through, you can make it. Go through the tough time, they make you strong. Quit dreading the trial, they make you better. We just want everything peaches and cream. It ain't gonna always be peaches and cream. Sometimes you got to eat some bad stuff. But let me tell you, when it's done, you think it tastes too good going down, but boy, I'm a different person now.
There is peace at the foot of the cross. There is peace at the foot of the cross. Oh, you just lay down your burdens, lay down your way, lay down everything at the foot of the cross. Oh, yes. There is joy at the foot of the cross. Oh, yes, there is. There is joy at the foot of the cross. Oh,